All right, so we're going to talk about Eat My Crust today. I'm going to go through some of the logistics of the course. To be fully transparent, for those of you that just joined us, I do have a lovely knee patient in here, and if I say something to her because she's trying to cheat because she thinks I'm on with you guys, then I apologize, but she's trying to get away with going up a step sideways and not the way she's supposed to. She's now laughing. Scary. All right, so touched on this a little bit before, the 15K as far as trust your training. And this is the biggest thing that I want to say even before Eat My Crust and really before any races that we do. Trust your training, embrace the process, and then most importantly, have fun. That this is really a celebration of the training camp. Here's the end of the training camp. We had a lot of fun with the 15K, and so we've just carried that on with some extra speed work. We've taken all of that fitness, and now we're going to use it in a 5K, and just focusing on the process. That's why I love this embrace the process, that no matter what the outcome is on race day, just think about our process oriented goals. What can you control on race day, etc. And then really, really have fun. This is a really, really fun 5K. It's a really fun group that we've had as part of camp. So just having fun as we celebrate, a really successful 16-week training camp. So here's our race week schedule. So tomorrow we'll meet at the housing loop. This is all in final surge at this point. We have 3 or 4 rounds of the 200 and then another 200 and then a 400. They're all at interval pace and it's equal distance recovery. So after the 200, you'll have a 200 easy. And then after the 400, at the end of that round, you'll have a 400 easy. So what are you doing? She's like climbing up with her hand, guys. Look over for 1 second. So you have plenty of recovery in between each of those, and it's interval pace, so it's quick, but it's not anything crazy, especially for those distances. We'll also have a little end of the year party with a surprise from Ed of Ameriprise Financial. So nice little winking plug there. Early packet pickup this week at Running Zone is happening on Friday and Saturday if you registered for Eat My Crust. Friday, Running Zone is open from 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. She's now using a cane. Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. I would encourage you guys, if you're in the area, it doesn't stress you out more to pick up, to get over there to pick up your packet, to do that ahead of time. It's just one less thing that you have to do on race day. You can also pick up your packet, of course, on race day at the race course from 6 to 6:45 before the race starts at 7 a.m. The race is at Vieira High School. Thanks to those that joined us yesterday when we ran the course. It's just right where we started. It's over on the opposite side of the track from where you will enter from the parking lot. And we'll go over the course a little more, but the whole race party will be there on the infield of the track, and we'll start right at 7 a.m. Also, when I talked to Brittany today, she had a great suggestion that if any of you guys are not on a team, that we will put together a training camp team, a Run With Us training camp team for both men. So there's 3 divisions in this race. There's a co-ed team division, a male division, and a female division. So we'll put together a male team and a female team. So if anybody is not on a team and wants to join a team, we would love to have you as part of our camp team. And Brittany will make those teams by this afternoon. So starting tomorrow, you can join. That was a good one. So starting tomorrow, you can add Run With Us as your team. If you've already registered and would like to be put on that team, please email myself or Brittany at info@spacecoastrunners.org and she will get you added. So here's the race day schedule. So packet pickup at the race site starts at 6 a.m. 6:45 is when it ends, and you can also register during that time if you don't register ahead of time. I encourage all of you guys to register ahead of time so you don't have to do that on race morning either. And then 7 a.m. is when Eat My Crust 5K starts, and then about 8:10 there's a little pepperoni fun run for the kids that's on the track, and that is free. So what's in your packet? This will be the same as the 15K. Excuse me. This will be the same as the 15K. You'll have your official bib number. Do not remove the B tag from the back. That's your timing chip. Don't fold it at all, and you'll just pin that to the front of your shirt. You also have safety pins and promotional material, and then a race shirt if you pick that option. So here is parking for race day. This is everywhere in front of the high school there off of Stadium. Here's the front of the high school. There is plenty of parking there. So everybody will park there. For those of you that have not been there, you'll just walk right over here, and then there'll be a gate to come into the track over here. And this is where all of the race day festivities will be happening on the infield. There'll be a whole bunch of tents. This will be where the raffles will be afterwards, where the awards will be, where all the food will be. Man, excuse me. I'll have a tent there, so come over and say hi. I'll be out there cheering you guys on, and then we'll have a tent with, I think we're going to have a friendship making bracelet station again, and probably like a giant Jenga. So come over, say hi, talk about the race, talk about camp, all the things as you get done there on the infield. And then here's the race course. So the track's down here. You'll park here, you'll enter the track. So the opposite side here is the starting. You're going to run 300 meters around the track. You kind of do this left, right to run along the canal. There's a little bit of an incline here to get up onto St. Andrews there. And then you're going to take a left. You're going to go left down until you get to this U-turn right before the roundabout. There's also that Barrows West Park right here. So you'll do a U-turn right there before you get to the roundabout. There's a sidewalk there. You'll run all the way back right before Judge Jameson Parkway. You'll do your other U-turn, and then you'll come back. You'll enter the track the same way that you exited it. And then you'll do this 300 around the track to finish at the same place you started. There is a fast track award that will start when you get on the track over here. That's roughly about that 300 meters. And there is an award for first, second, and third males. I believe it's first, second, third. I'll have to double check on that for how fast you can run around the track at the end there. Couple notable things with the race. Like I said, there's that little bit of this incline here as you get up onto St. Andrews. And then that is a little bit of a overpass there. So that when you're heading back just past mile 2, you're going to go up a little bit, and then you'll come down on the other side. And then same thing after this U-turn, you'll come up before you kind of go down as you come back in here. So it's nothing major. It's nothing like the causeway, but there is that little bit of undulation of the road just to be mindful of. So this is just exactly what I talked through. Those are the course info of written instructions, kind of where a little bit of those downhills are, where the uphills are, etc. And so what I would say with this is those 180s are a place where I think a lot of people will lose a lot of momentum during the race on both ends. And so as you come into that, you're obviously going to have to slow down a little bit, but I would focus on taking like 10 to 15 quick steps coming out of that 180, because a lot of people are then going to settle. It's going to break their rhythm. They're going to lose that momentum. So as you come out of just 10 to 15 steps, a little bit of a stride before you settle back into your pace, and you'll catch a lot of people that way, and that'll get you right back to the pace that you were running, as opposed to starting to settle like, oh, I slowed down, and then you just kind of let it sit back. So just like with the 15K, I think even with this being a 5K, that a lot of people overlook doing a timeline for it, because there's 5Ks and 2 miles offered like every weekend in the county, so it doesn't seem like it's big of a deal. But I would still encourage you to do a timeline just to leave less unknowns for race day. So here's a sample of mine if I was racing, kind of when I would get up, when I would head to the race course, and when I would warm up. We are going to have a camp picture at the starting line at 6:50, so right before the start, that I would love for all of you guys that are racing to come over and be part of. So just work your way back from that 7 a.m. race start, 6:50 camp picture, and then work your way back with everything else. So a couple race day tips. Even though it's not the 15K, I don't think I have to preach quite as much about not going out too quick, but I still see tons and tons of people go out too quickly, even for a 5K. That first mile to a mile and a half, although it's going to feel kind of tough, it shouldn't feel super hard at that point yet. You shouldn't be maxed out. It shouldn't be like a VO2 max effort. It shouldn't be like when we're doing 400s on the track, 800s at relay night, that sort of thing. Should feel hard, but you should still feel very much in control, because you still have to make it through those 3-point wide miles of that 5K. So you get out decently quick, but make sure you're not going out too quick, because it will catch up with you the last mile. The first mile is going to feel like I said, quick, but not really hard yet. If it feels super hard the first mile, I would back off a little bit, so that you have more in the tank the last mile. You'll make up so much more time overall and against other people. It looks like there might be a little bit of a breeze. If there is, try to sneak in behind someone if there's anyone around you to block the wind for those sections that might be a little breezy. That just helps save energy as we're going against the wind. Work with other runners that are out there. This is a pretty big race. I think they're expecting almost 1,000 people, so it's a lot of people for a 5K. So work with everyone around you. That could be, oh, I'm going to catch 3 people by this next turn, or we have this really good group that we're working with. Let's all work together. We all have this common goal of hitting a PR or breaking 25 minutes or whatever it might be. Work with those runners around you, and that can help out so much, as I'm sure you guys know just from camp, that you go out and run by yourself versus you come out and run with 10, 15 people. It makes such a big difference. As far as a little bit of an inclines go, since they're not causeways, it's not as drastic as some of the other races, but they are still inclines. So strong and steady going up. Try not to lose too much of your momentum. Excuse me. You're going to make a lot more time even on these smaller inclines, on the downhills, on the uphills. So strong and steady going up. Don't burn too many matches going up. Think about your form, being light on your feet, driving your knees to get up. Then once you crest the top, kind of open it down for that little bit and try to carry that momentum as you go. And also create a mantra. We've talked about this a couple times, where you got this, you are strong, you can do hard things, whatever resonates with you. Because if there's anything I can guarantee about these races, especially a 5K, it's going to get hard at some point. It's going to get tough at some point. Whether that's 1.5 miles, 2 miles, 2.5 miles as you get onto the track, I have no idea. But if you're racing it and you're seeing what you're made of on that day, it's going to get tough. So how are you going to cope with that? How are you going to work through that? And also know everybody out there is working really hard and is going through a lot of the things that you are also, that it's hard for everyone. We all go through, the tough times, and it starts to hurt. And that's when, you can decide, am I going to embrace this? Am I going to push through it? Or am I going to kind of sit back? I hope you embrace it and push through it, because it's a lot of fun on the other side. You just have to expect that it's coming and learn how to push through it. All right, here's the weather forecast. So it looks like about how it's been lately over there in Viera. Low of 69, high of 80 on Sunday. Luckily, we're starting at 7 a.m. right after sunrise. So we will still dip into the 60s, which it's not as cool as weather as like we had for Classic, but it's only a 5K versus the 15K, and it's not summer weather yet. It could be much, much worse. So still pretty good weather for the day. And it's looking like the southeast wind at about 11 miles an hour right now, on looking at a couple of the different weather channels. So just look for that in the morning of where the wind's coming out of, like I said, to know kind of where you can push, where you can use a tailwind, when you want to use some other people to work off of. I was glad I was looking for that one. She did good. She got up without using a cane, and she wasn't super dramatic. So a quick wrap up. I just want to put this in here that, just saying thanks to all of you guys, that it really is an honor to coach these camps. I love meeting you guys. I'm inspired by all of you. I love seeing the progress that we're able to make over the 16 weeks. It flies by every time. Like, how is 16 weeks over already? You guys really are the reason that I'm passionate about not only coaching, but running. That I really had no desire to be a coach. Brittany had asked me probably about a year before I started doing these several years ago, and I said no, that I wasn't interested. I just wanted to run myself. And then when she pitched it again, I said, okay, I'll try it for like one camp. And here we are like 5 years later. So it's really, really fun getting to know all of you, watching your running journey. And whether you take a camp in the future or not, like, I hope to see you guys out on the road training and at races. I'm always here for anything that you need, anything I can help out with. Never hesitate to reach out. That I'll always be cheering for you out at the races and whenever I see you. So the biggest thank you to you guys for, allowing me to do this. And then speaking of future camps, we have our summer sweat and speed coming up. We get 2 Tuesdays off, about 2 weeks off, and then we'll kick off on May 20th. It's a 7-week camp, so it's a shorter camp over the summer. Be much more focused on speed, between having 2 camps on the bookends of the year that are focused on longer stuff. This one, just focusing on shorter stuff for something different. And also with the summer, with it being warmer, it's a lot easier on our bodies. And I think a lot healthier to focus on that shorter speed instead of the longer stuff as the humidity starts to kick in. So registration is currently open for that. There'll be a link in the email today, but that's through One Sign Up now. We're trying a different platform. And then we'll have our fall marathon and half marathon training camp, which will start August 12th. That'll be 16 weeks, just like this one, targeting Space Coast Marathon and half marathon. You don't have to be doing that race. The Summer Sweat and Speed targets the Firecracker 5K on July 4th. I forgot to mention that. And registration for the fall camp will be open this summer. Both will have the same structure that we have right now of the Tuesday evening and the Sunday morning workouts, coffee with coach on Monday, and then we're always looking to add new things. So within the next week, you guys in an email should get a link to take a survey just about camp. And so any input that you guys have on what you really liked about camp, what you would like to see added, how we can improve, we would love to hear it so we can continue to build each camp. But that's what we have on tap for the rest of the year. And then does anybody have any questions about Eat My Crust camp, running, anything I can help with? Really? All right. Yep, Tom.
This is about follow-on camps. I've got some travel this summer, so I won't be able to make a lot of the meetings. Is there a way, I guess, to just to run with the groups, or are there, I find it's a lot easier to run in a group than it is by myself all the time.
I didn't catch the beginning of your question. Can you repeat the beginning of it for me?
But I'm going to be out of town on various times this summer, so I won't be able to commit to a camp because I won't be able to make a lot of the group workouts. But so I was thinking of just training on my own for a little bit, then training for long distance in the fall. But some of the runs and all that, they're hard to do by myself. Are there ways that I can crash the party and run with the groups?
Yeah, so the weekend workouts, there's always groups that are running from Oars and Paddles and Cocoa Village, and that's on a weekly basis, put on, by either Space Coast runners up in Cocoa Village or just groups that start in Oars and Paddles. If you want to email me with when you're in town, I'm sure we can work something out. I'm never going to tell a runner no to come out and run with us. So if you just email me with when you're in town, we'll figure something out to let you come and crash the party when you're in town. Because I'm not going to say no.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, just email me and we'll figure it out.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bruna, did you have a question? I thought I saw a hand go up.
Yeah, no, I did have a question, but you explained this is going to be my first 5K. So I wasn't sure how to pace, and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? But you explained it already. I'm just not going to go too crazy, because usually when I do the 2 miles trial, I kill myself on those 2 miles, and I'm like, I don't have an extra mile on those. And my whole goal, this weekend is just like being able to finish 3 miles without, the 5K without, dying at mile 2.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Just go out a little more conservative. You're not going for a 1 mile PR that first mile. So go out a little more conservative. The goal is to build, each mile. A lot of times our effort builds even if our pace stays the same over that 5K over each mile. So, just go out slower than you think you should, and know that, that last mile is when you can really get after it.
Yeah, so I looked at I did a 10K in the beginning of the year. So I'm pretty much going to, based on that, go a little faster than that for the first mile, and then I'll see how I feel for the last 2 miles. Because like you said, I know you just have to embrace the pain. It is painful. I am a little, anxious about it because I know I'm going to be suffering, but it's short. Once you're done, you get a good PR, a good number, whatever, and
Yes.
then it's like, it's all happy,
Yes, exactly. That's the thing with the shorter. It's like the shorter the race gets, it doesn't last as long, but the intensity of pain creeps up really quickly as opposed to longer ones. Like something like a marathon is just like a grind. Like it's like that deep fatigue. It just slowly builds over time. The 5K is a different beast, and then getting even shorter. So I think that's perfect. Go out a little quicker than the 10K pace for the first mile, and then just try to build it from there.
Yeah, that's my plan. It's funny because they're laughing at me. They're like, you have done half marathons, 10K, 10 miles, but no 5Ks. And I was like, yep, nope, this is gonna be my first one.
Yep. It's gonna be awesome. It's a PR no matter what then.
I know. That'll be a good day.
Yes.
Well, and
Okay,
thank you for your time.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Caitlin, I was just going to add to what Bruno was saying, and you had mentioned earlier working with the other runners around you. I mean, we've got such an awesome group thanks to Caitlin and this group that she's put together. I know with our group, like Vish, like that guy, he keeps me honest, and I try to keep him honest as well. But like, if you can find that person in your group that like has that little bit of extra in them, and you can push each other and run, then absolutely go ahead and do that. I mean, that's going to help you PR more than anything else.
Yep,
Yeah,
1,000%.
I have my pacer, Rachel. She's definitely gonna run a little faster than me, but I'm trying to have her. I'm gonna focus on her and see what I can do.
Yeah. Yep, that's gonna be awesome. All right, guys, I'll hang on for another minute if anybody thinks of another question that they have. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.